Not quite the least comfortable I've ever seen, but one of the least comfortable I have ever seen. It's a very sort of discomforting looking tambuerti tree with lots of little branches. Leopards, of course, displaying that incredible gift for being able to make the least comfortable position look like the most comfortable position they have ever been in. Now, Sindile has moved off from where we last saw him. He's no longer feeding down in the drainage line. He's walked a little bit away along, back towards where we first saw him. I don't know if you can see him, Dave. Not at all. I can't either. I'm not even entirely sure Aubrey's guests can at this point. You can see Aubrey at the other side of the drainage, and Will, his tracker. We're both struggling for a good position to enjoy this sighting from. Obviously, I can see where the tracks of the vehicles have gone up to the edge of the drainage line itself. However, that was in a very different scenario when Mvula was still feeding in the dip itself. And I think Brent is absolutely right when he says that you can't really... The animals don't read the textbooks, so they do whatever it is they want. I think the important thing to remember with leopards... I thought he was about to get up, sorry. I think that was just a fly that provoked that movement. Come on, boy, aren't you feeling hungry? You don't look very comfortable, that's for sure. It does confuse me as to why Mvula's chosen to be up there and not on a termite mound. But perhaps that's just his way. I don't know exactly what went on here. Because he keeps shifting, he's not sleeping properly. He keeps shifting in discomfort. But yes, it's important to remember that actually all animals, apart from male lions, but most animals are relatively non-confrontational. They want to avoid a fight. In fact, even male lions, they want to avoid a fight wherever possible. And that's why the majority of all animal confrontations come down to mostly posturing, growling, looking scary, trying to make yourself look bigger than your opponent. Because ultimately, none of the animals out here can afford to risk being injured in some way. And I think that is one of some of the reasoning behind the situation that we have here. And leopard fights are actually incredibly uncommon. Yes, you see videos every now and again. Killed, but leopards don't do that. And we've seen it with perfect, thank you, Dave. Now the sun's behind Dave, so I'm much more comfortable in this position. You see it often we saw it with Karula and Shadow. Look, they're related, so that's a slightly different scenario. They growled at each other, postured at each other in that way, and Karula blew a spit bubble and then they moved off, and that's the standard female confrontation. We've seen Tingana and the Anderson male confront each other, and again, do you still have visual of that other Medora? Okay, copy, perfect, thank you. Sure. And definitely a difficult sighting, but at the same time definitely worth staying for as long as possible. And James Dungan, you were wondering whether or not Sindile's time in captivity, perhaps he didn't develop as he might normally have in the wild, and perhaps he has reverted back to the behavior he would have displayed before he was taken into captivity, and you've noted that in terms of the way that he behaves with other leopards. He's not abnormal in his age group. The situation is abnormal, but his behavior is not that abnormal. So a leopard of 2 years old, which is essentially what Sindile is approaching, because he's a male, he would be regularly going back and visiting mom. They often do it. They take a much longer time than the females do to gain independence. The difference is that Shadow actually started, even before Sindile was taken into captivity, Shadow started mating a lot earlier than is the norm for female leopards. So she had cubs a lot earlier than would have been normal. Normal is, again, this is not normal, but normal in inverted commas for the leopards of this area. So no, I don't know, to be 100% honest with you. I couldn't say to you no. It's a good point, because of course he hasn't had those learning space of 8 months. Already Shadow was showing signs of not really tolerating him. She was hissing at him, she was trying to push him away from kills. She went off and left him for an entire week, which is actually kind of what led to him hunting and catching that domestic dog, ultimately. But she did leave him alone for up to a week at a time, when he was still very, very young. But I don't know how much of his behavior now is connected to his stint in captivity, but perhaps you're right in that I guess you can't disassociate the two. I would love to. I think we're going to be chatting to a lot of different people about this and seeing what they think. I actually almost feel as though what we're seeing is not that abnormal for a young male to be seen with a much older male, because, as I said earlier with the age thing, the young males are not seen as a threat yet. They're basically, Sindile is not really an adult, he's a sub-adult. He's not going to be pushing for territory, he's not strong enough to be a serious threat to Mbula yet. So perhaps there's that to it, but your guess is as good as mine, and ultimately, as Brent said, they don't read the textbooks. They behave the way they want to. I don't think it's unusual to see this, though. I'm surprised because of the combination that we have here. I would have been less surprised if it had been Tingana and Sindile, funnily enough. Because Tingana, whether or not he is in fact Sindile's father, Tingana, the male leopard that pushed Mbula out of his territory, he often spent time with Sindile before Sindile went into captivity. I don't think I can get us a better view. But while I contemplate a way in which I might, and also have a quick chat on the Game Drive channel, let's go across to Brent and his honeymoon couple.
Oh, here we go. Almost 15 minutes on the dot again. And she's up. Are you going to walk behind us again? Said this time I was ready. And I'm just not going to move while they're very close to the car. But I was ready this time. I positioned myself where I wouldn't have to drive too much in a big circle before they mate. Oh, let me just get around here quickly. There we go. Much more sedate than it was this morning. And as it gets cooler, you can see I'm not so worried about shade anymore. Quite happy to lie out in this golden sunlight. You notice he's not yawning fully due to that Poof. Tired kitty. Now Douglas is wondering, if the estrus cycle is only 4 days, how soon after will the lioness mate with another male? Actually, during that 4 days, it's not uncommon for coalition members to fight it out and then get a bit tired and obviously a bit weaker than someone who's been eating, and then immediately lose his spot to the other male. So also with lion genetics, for example, those cubs we saw this morning, they could have 3 different coalition member fathers. So lions could have easily have mated with her or during an estrus cycle and each fathered a cub. It's unlikely, it's probably 2 in 1 or even all 3 to 1 lion, but it is possible that they can have multiple fathers to a single litter. So wait, let's check the time again quickly before I forget. There we go, 42 minutes past. So we got another 15 minutes to wait until they probably copulate again. Now, Terry in Santa Ana poses a very interesting question. How does a male lion know that the cubs are his? Well, he doesn't, Terry. He'll know he has mated with that female, but in certain lion populations, up to 49% of the cubs born are born to nomadic males who sneak and mate around the edge. These are the males that don't compete too well in the sort of main pride dynamic. They're generally single males that haven't been able to find coalition mates. So they are, and they don't, they're just, the likelihood of them belonging to the dominant male coalition in the area is strong. But as I said, in certain areas, up to 49% of cubs are born to nomadic males who don't belong to a particular coalition. And they never hold territory throughout their life. They're just nomads, and they take mating opportunities whenever they can, and that's their strategy for passing on their genes. So as I said, these lions are not going to be doing much for the next 15 minutes, but we can move a little bit forward, see if we can get a nice look at their faces in the light. Go. Hello, big boy. Oh, eyes are closed already. Some really interesting cat dynamics happening with the lions and with the leopards at the moment. The lions less interesting than the leopards, or that leopard sighting you're having with Jamie this evening. But nevertheless, the lions are just so great to have cubs around and mating and having them spend more time on Djuma at the moment, which is really fantastic for us. Sleepy. You can see that lying out in the open sodic areas. Okay, so while we sit here with the sleepy lions, let's go see how Jamie's leopard sighting is going.
We have managed to reposition slightly to get a different view of Mvula, and from Brent's sleepy lions to our sleepy leopard, Mvula is still absolutely fast asleep. I'm speaking quite softly because we are relatively close to him, but as you can see, he is not bothered at all by our presence. He is completely ignoring us. Now Ephraim is trying to call me, as is Tax, because they are both wanting to approach the sighting, so we will have to pull out at some point in order to make space for them. But I'm just going to wait for the 3 different conversations that are going on at the moment to finish off, and then hopefully I can respond to the person who tried to call me in the first place. Standing by? Yes, we got in. Ephraim Tax, you're more than welcome to, and if, just let me know when you are at the sighting and I will pull out. Tax, I think your best approach is still from the eastern bank, where Aubrey came in. You'll have a view of the young Madora. Affirmative. You'll be able to see him as well. He's up in a Tambuti, but your visual will be probably about 2 out of 5. Tax, I think come west, your clearest view is going to be the young Madora in the Shkova, if he's still there. Aubrey had a clear view of him. Yeah, FM, if you've got no visual from that side, then I'll move out and you can take my spot. One very sleepy leopard with a belly full of food. And the impala carcass I can see. I don't think Dave can at this point, given our somewhat precarious position in terms of where we are. There we go, there's what's left of the impala carcass. There's still actually quite a little bit of meat. I wonder who killed this impala. Was it Sindile or was it Mvula? It's a big male impala, but then Sindile is certainly a lot bigger than he used to be, which was, I'm sorry, that was not a very profound statement. Of course he is, he grew. That's how aging works. But, no, it's a big impala. Plenty of meat for 2 male leopards to share, but quite remarkable that they are doing so. And as I said, we will have to leave the sighting, but as soon as we have another spot to come back in, then we will come and rejoin it. I still think we could squeeze ourselves onto the outskirts and perhaps just hang around, because I really, really want to see what happens. There you go, you can see through the branches where he's managed to perch himself. His belly is sticking out and his one leg through the fork of a tree. It's a very interesting position to be in, and we're very lucky to be that our leopards are comfortable enough to allow us to this point. And we're just going to keep speaking very, very softly. And hello to Shenali, who is a viewer watching and wanting to know how much a leopard can eat in one sitting. Well, Shenali, of course, it depends upon whether or not we're talking a male or a female. In the case of a male, they can eat almost up to 20% of their own body weight in one sitting. They get an enormously full belly. And what that means in terms of, let's try and put it into context, is that an adult impala for a leopard of Mbula's size, who is probably up to about, I'd say he's about 70 odd kilograms, so he could eat roughly, what would that be? It would be 70 divided by 5, it would be about 14 kilograms of meat. An adult impala weighs roughly about 50 kilograms, about 100 or so pounds, and a male leopard would probably take about 2 to 3 days to finish that off. Just to give you an idea, I've seen Shadow, just to to continue, not Shadow, sorry, Karula, just to continue that conversation. I've seen her eat an entire steenbok in one sitting, which is absolutely incredible because a steenbok probably weighs, I would say, 15 odd kilograms, 32 odd pounds, maybe a little bit less, but she ate the entire thing from start to finish in one go. And Karula's probably about a 45 kilogram leopard, possibly even less. Oh, whoopsie, we appear to have an approach from a different side. Guys, we are going to have to reposition to make space here. Oh, there are those beautiful eyes. Look at that. That is a truly outstanding view. Incredible. That was an absolutely beautiful view. Wow. See what I mean about Mvula's eyes? Here we go. You're not comfy, boy. Okay, guys. I'm going to reposition. While I do that, I'm going to send you across to Brent.
Well, we're about 8 minutes short, or maybe 6 minutes short, till the 15 minutes is up, but not exact, just an average of around 15 minutes. And in between these bouts of mating, as you can see, they are very, very relaxed. Not much going on. Well, we did have that boy get a massive fright from a Cape turtle dove this morning, which was very amusing. Well, it was for me anyway. A big male lion, king of the jungle, scared by a Cape turtle dove landing in a quarry bush above his head. I thought that was wonderful. Our male lions are not the bravest creatures out there, and quite often a female can be quite a lot more fierce than a male. Doodles is wondering who decides when the mating is over. Well, Doodles, it'll be when the female's estrus cycle is finished, so she's not in heat anymore. She'll generally try and move away from the male. But it's her body clock that decides when the mating is over, rather than anything else. Now, we've got this wonderful sighting all to ourselves again, so I'm going to reposition. Actually, they seem to be going that way when they mate, so I'm going to position in myself in a way that we should be around ahead of them this time. Before they do, send us in wide arcs again. There we go. Oh, no one put a shadow on her. Oh, no. Centimetre too far. There we go. Hi, Jane. Jane's in Boston. Jane would like to know, how long do the guests normally stay at the sighting? It just depends on vehicle pressure. Now, there's a lot of sightings around this evening. You must remember that they're only on one vehicle. You guys are on two, and sometimes two plus a bushwalk. So there's a lot more. So at the moment, the guys have come to the lions, and then now they've headed off to the leopards. Whereas we've had a car at the leopards and the lions, so you guys have had the best of both worlds. So it all just depends on the individual sighting or circumstance and how many other sightings are out there in the afternoon, or what particularly they're looking for. They might have not seen elephants, so they've seen lions lots but no elephants, so they're going to try and move around till they find an elephant. There you go. You can see the hole in his lip quite clearly when he's lying like that. Hi, Richard in British Columbia. Richard would like to know, do mating pairs of lions ever attract unwanted attention from other predators? For example, hyenas. Definitely not. The only unwanted attention might be, from the male's point of view, is one of the other coalition members who might be more dominant than him. Now, hyenas, no hyena in its right mind would come anywhere near a male lion, especially not a male lion in its prime like this Birmingham boy. He would happily murder the hyena, and hyenas will often harass lionesses on a kill, but add a big adult male lion to the scenario and the hyenas will, unless that male lion's in really bad shape, the hyenas will stay very far away. Now, I have seen leopards come in, investigate the noises, just kind of a quick sneak peek through the bush from a safe distance, like I've seen leopards do many times on lion kills. And I think that's about it. The only real competition would be from another male lion of the same coalition, or attracting new male lions that might be trying to take over the area. Oh, she's on the move. No, just a little head stretch. But we should be getting... It's nearly time, another 2 minutes, I reckon. Again, it's not an exact science. Hi, Marion from Arkansas. Marion would like to know, does the Panthera project only collect DNA from leopards, or do they do lions? Marion, to honestly say, the Panthera project is so huge and has so many different scientific endeavors going on through the big cats of the world. To say they might not collect DNA from these lions, but I'm pretty sure they collect DNA from Omo Valley lions in Ethiopia. So there's different scientific projects that are ongoing all over the place. The leopard scat, which is tied in with a church that wears leopard skin in South Africa at the moment. That DNA project is currently specifically to see where the skins are coming from. So they're not only collecting leopard DNA in the Sabi Sands, but they're collecting DNA throughout Africa. And of course, I know a lot of you would love to get a hold of the paternal facts about who's the father of what leopards, but you understand that is not Panthera's main aim. Their main aim is to find out where these leopards are coming from, what areas are being poached the worst for leopards, and to see exactly how they can try to combat this. Now, I think, for example, out of the skins tested from the Shengi Church, I think out of 1,000 leopard skins tested, and there were 9, no, I can't remember, but between 10 and 20 skins that had DNA markers that were related to leopards from the Sabi Sands. Oh, here we go. Is it time? Beautiful light on her. I hope you guys are getting some fantastic screenshots. Oh, there we go. All she has to do is look in his direction. Oh, stretch. And here we go, we're on the move. Oh, I'm not going very far this time, I was getting Now compare that to the aggression we had this morning, and I suppose the more you mate, the easier it gets. Now remember, cats have barbed penises, so every time he dismounts it does hurt, and of course it hurts more in the beginning. Lovely backlight on that male there. Unfortunately for us, they have not made it across the boundary. The boundary is just behind them. You can see the road behind them, that's the boundary. Okay, well, they're going to go down. It is 4 minutes past 5. So at 20 past, hopefully they'll be at it again. While we reposition, let's jump back on board with Jamie for an update.
It seems as though we could all set our watches by the two lions mating. Now guys, we have left the sighting of Sindile and Mbula, the reason being that there are other vehicles coming in to have a look, and as you may have been able to guess, it's not the easiest place to get into and out of, which means that we gave up our spots so that the other guests could enjoy that fantastic moment with the two male leopards. We're moving on now. If the two vehicles that are in the sighting, if they move out in the next few moments, then we'll go back in. However, as much as we would love to stay with those two leopards, because the kill is on the ground, they haven't hoisted the kill, probably because there'll be a little bit of confrontation if that does occur. Because they haven't hoisted the kill, we will not be spotlighting them. So whenever a leopard has a kill on the ground, we make it a policy not to put a spotlight on them, because we don't want to add an extra level of distraction to them and risk them losing that kill to hyenas. They're already in a difficult spot. We're between two hyena dens. And Bubu Road is here, Galago Shortcut is there, and they are right in the middle. Now hyenas love using that as a highway. So we won't be spotlighting them, but if we get a chance, we will move back into that sighting. So I figured, while we wait, since our Ellies have moved off, as Dave said, I think we were both hoping they might have stuck around since we left them so unceremoniously earlier to go and find the leopards. Well, since they're not there, I think we'll go and look at the hyena dens. It's a chance. We know that the main den, most of the clan, have moved across to the other side of Sydney's dam in Manuleti. However, because Chris Rogue reported seeing Gwen and her two tiny little cubs on the dam cam 2 nights ago, I'm really hoping that she might still be in this area. So we're going to try. I did promise we'd keep trying. I'm keen to see them. I know you all are. So that is what we're going to try and do now. I just want to try and get the buffalo thorn out of my elbow. That's not so bad. Aha! Now an interesting suggestion from Brent. He was wondering if perhaps we didn't want to go to the other lions. I actually thought he was going to go to the other lions. But if he's not, well, that certainly changes things, because then I think perhaps we should race across there. But again, cubs, we can't spotlight them. Okay, I see. Brent is currently keeping a schedule with the mating lions, or the mating lions are keeping a schedule for Brent. Okay, yes, let's do that. We're going to have to race the sun, though. Okay. We're here. We're right here. Let's do a quick check of the hyena den. Just a quick one. Just a quick peekaboo to see if they're here. If they're not, then we'll race across the lines and hopefully get there before the sun starts going down. Now, what we're hoping with that lion sighting, though, is he's absolutely right. The females will be hunting. We can't spotlight them because of the cubs. However, if the females separate so if one female stays with her cubs, the rest of the females move on, then we will be able to stay with them as they go out hunting. And luckily for us, the sunset safari, now that we've passed the winter solstice, we've got a little bit of sun for a little bit longer on these drives. Let's do a quick check. I'm not even putting my vehicle into low range. Sorry, Dave, we're bumping around. We've got to hurry. Oh, poor Rusty. Had a bit of a rough day today. All kinds of bizarre and interesting places to test Rusty's suspension. Oh, we are going to run out of light. We've got a tight schedule to keep today. Please be here, please be here, please be here, please be here, please be here. Aww. She's not here. Sorry, we tried once again, but it looks completely silent and it's just got that deserted feel to it. Nope. No hyenas. Okay, to the lions. Rusty smells like petrol. Why does Rusty smell like petrol? Whew. Particularly pungent today. Okay, back we go. And hopefully we can get to those lions in time. Let's see how we go as we speed along. We'll have to do a little bit of a Ferrari safari since we are in the wrong area. Some gentle clunking. Which way is going to be quickest? Let's think about that for a second. I think probably the dam wall. We'll race across to Voyatella Dam and then we'll head towards those lionesses. Too many options. We're so spoiled for choice. Choosing where to go is so incredibly difficult. Because if we go to these lions, well, we probably wouldn't have been able to go back to the leopards anyway. So, difficult decisions. And we're definitely not complaining about having too many sightings to choose between. Okay. We're far away still. We've got to race around towards the dam. Rusty's sending all of her plant material back into our faces.
In another 10 or so minutes. They were a bit slow. A bit late on the last one. Very, very peaceful sitting here with the lions as the sun sinks below the western horizon. Very, very little noise out there at the moment. There we go, there's the sunset with a lovely expired knobthorn in it, providing food for borer beetles, who in turn provide food for birds. I'm trying to listen to see if we can hear anything else. I can hear some insects. There's a very, very light breeze. Other than that, it's an incredibly still winter's evening. Now, Brock says he's observed lions climbing trees in southwestern Uganda. Have we ever seen this behavior displayed with the lions here? I've never seen the Nkuhumas climb trees. There's a pride down to the south called the Sparta Pride or the Ifield Pride. I've seen them climb trees many times. And I've seen lots of different lions throughout Africa climb trees. Now, the southwestern Uganda, I think you're talking about Queen Elizabeth National Park. They're quite famous for climbing trees there. Also Lake Manyara in Tanzania, I've seen them climb trees there. There's huge amounts of biting flies in those areas. So they actually climb those big trees, normally a big acacia, sometimes big fig trees, to get up into where there's slightly more breeze to stop the flies biting them incessantly. Here, fortunately for our lions, there are not as many biting flies, so the need to climb a tree is generally only to steal a leopard's kill. We have seen them play in trees, this particular pride. On quarantine, the fallen marulas, we've seen them climb those many times. And one must remember, animal behavior is quite often area-specific rather than species-specific. So the lions here might behave in certain ways quite differently from the lions in other places. I thought I heard something down here, Sydney's waterhole. Let's just have a quick look while the lions are sleeping. Oh. Over the log. And there have been a lot of zebras coming down to drink through the day, coming down from the Manyeleti where there's very little water at the moment. And I will keep an eye on the lions in case they move. What I thought I heard the pounding of hooves. I thought there might be a surprise for us here, but whatever's hooves were pounding, they've disappeared. I think it could be zebras again, so let's go back to the lions. Oh, Jamie's got a surprise for you.
Well, it doesn't really get better than this. She's stalking something, and we are just going to wait here. They're in the middle of quarantine. We didn't even need to rush towards them. Here comes Amber Eyes right in front of us, and the little cubs are also around as well. They're the little cubs watching what's happening, and we are surrounded by lionesses. Oh, they have been spotted. The Nyala have seen them, and the Impala have seen them. Can hear the alarm calls, the barking. Sorry, girls. Didn't happen yet. You've been seen. Oh, they'd actually been spotted before that. Calling the cubs. What an awesome afternoon. Actually, awesome day. Hi, little ones. Oh my word. How are you feeling, Dave? Awesome. Right next to the vehicle. This is so cool. The station's in Nkuma's now mobile, east along quarantine towards Wetela Dam. Oh, look at them go! Scampering after Mom. Run, little one, run! Game time. Shame. Poor Dave is now completely basically sitting off his seat. Let's reposition so that life's a little bit easier for him. What a lovely surprise. They had actually been spotted by a whole group of Inyala there that were alarm calling as we came through onto quarantine clearings. We've got the moon rising, we've got cubs playing. It's so beautiful. It lions in the sunset. Oh, what a time to be in the bush. Stop. Let's stop here so that we don't scare them, and also so that we've got a... Oh, are we climbing a tree? Huh? Just like Brent was talking about, playing in trees. We almost had a cub trying to climb one. Oh, next one up. Yes, no? How perfectly appropriate is this? Uh-oh. Now what? This cub's gonna fall out of this tree. Oh, very graceful. Oopsie, almost. Shame. Our poor hunting lionesses, on alert, looking for something to catch, but they really have their work cut out for them. Before I move, we are going to reposition to catch up with the lions. I just have to show you the moon quickly. Oh, look at that. Very angry squirrel. Announcing the arrival of the lions. Okay. That was just a quick look at the moon, and on to the Nkuhumas. The second time we have seen them gambling across quarantine. I lost a lioness. I think she's trying to sneak around that side. They've been spotted though, well and thoroughly. Now they are about to get to Voyatella Dam, so they're going to go and have a drink there. I think they've left Mom and a babysitter with these cubs, and the other two lionesses have gone hunting. I've lost them completely. Oh, they're already at the dam. Oh, look at this little one stalk behind the bush. Oh, no, changed my mind. Mommy says go this way. A half-hearted stalking mission. But Mom and Aunt don't have time to tolerate little games. They've got to move. Oh! Trotting to keep up with Mom. Andreen, how big are they in size? Still shorter than your average house cat. Just a little bit. And quite a lot stockier, quite a lot heavier. I'll give you an indication with my hands later, but I definitely don't want to take my eyes off them just yet. They're so adorable. Let's go catch some drink. Oh, Brent's on his way. Never mind, we don't have to. He's going to have a view of them shortly. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Shame. And Amber Eyes is hungry. She's been trying to hunt all day, and with the little cubs, they've just messed things up a little bit. Oh, there's the giraffe. Look at that, Dave. Ooh, there's no way, surely not. 4 lionesses are going to take on a giraffe. She's thinking about it, though. There's the giraffe. It's an old bull. And there goes the lioness. She's stalking it. Is she going to think about chasing it, or without a male to help them out? I'm not 100% sure that is going to be her plan. She's following, though. That's also the way that the Nyala and the Impala ran after their alarm called. I don't think she's going to do it. A full-grown male giraffe for 4 lionesses with 3 cubs. Ooh, bit too much of a challenge, I think. Brent is looping around just in case they do pop out that side. Let's go forward a bit. While we reposition, try and figure out exactly where we're going to go, let's go across to Brent and have a look at things from his view.
Okay, one lioness has spotted a giraffe, an adult male giraffe. I can't see whether the other lionesses know they're not joining her, but she might chase it anyway. So there she is, and there he is. There's the giraffe. Now, she might chase it in the hope that he injures his foot, and then the other lions might pile in. So Jamie's going to stick with the others going for a drink. We're going to stick with the one very, very hopeful lioness stalking a massive male giraffe by herself. Now, just zoom in on that giraffe for me, please. I just want to have a look at his ankle. Does it look like he's carrying an injury? No, just standing funny. Might be carrying an injury. Now, the Nkuhumas have caught giraffe before, an adult male giraffe before. I'm just going to move so we can see both of them again. Where are the others? They are looking for her, but they haven't seen her yet. Oh, I think one might have seen her. The giraffe looks like it's looking at something on quarantine. I'd say there's 40 meters between her and the giraffe, but without backup, it could be a bit difficult. Trying to see if the other lions are going to come up here. They might. I think they've spotted her now. Now, like the hunting of buffalo, the hunting of giraffe is a very dangerous pastime for a lion. Things can go very badly wrong. The giraffe is able to aim very well-directed kicks that are quite capable of breaking a lion's jaw. Oh, there's some other. Okay, well, we're going to jump across to Jamie. She's got the other lions who are looking at us. So let's jump across to Jamie. We're going to stay here.
While the mother keeps the cubs occupied as they drink at the outlet to the pipe, the other mother, the other young lioness, has spotted what is happening here, as Brent said, and she's looking with fierce concentration. I just want to speak to Brent. I want to tell him that I've lost track of one lioness. How many mufuzes have you got there? Just the one? Copy that. I think the fourth actually went into that block a little bit earlier. Over to Brent. The lioness is chasing.
Look, she's chasing the giraffe. She's right on its heels. Now there's another lioness in the block I didn't know about. Let's catch up, see what's going on. Look at this dust from that giraffe running away from that lioness. Now, again, even with two lionesses, it was very hopeful. But they are hoping the giraffe maybe injures itself. I can just see the giraffe still going. And the lioness is here, in front of my house. Hello, you. That was very ambitious, but worth a try. Now, here's a perfect example of an opportunistic hunt. Oh, that was a look of a bit of disgust on her face. I missed. Oh, it's Amber Eyes. Why am I not surprised it was Madam Amber? It looks like she's going to go back and rejoin the rest of the pride. That giraffe has gone. So there's always a possibility that giraffe could have stood in a hole, tripped over a log. So without males and without cornering them in a drainage line. So where I used to work not far from here in the Kruger, they used to chase the giraffe up against the Lobombo Mountains while they were trying to climb. They used to fall down and the pride would jump onto them. There we go, yeah, she is right in front of us. Good old Amber Eyes, leading the charge. Now, our plan, both Jamie and my plan, was always to return to the Inkahumas before dark. And because they were hunting quite late into the morning, so we knew there was a good chance they were going to hunt now. And I wouldn't be surprised if they leave the cubs somewhere now on the drainage line. So, looks like they're heading for a drink. There's Amber parallel to us, walking down. I think she's going to rejoin the pride. And there's a second lioness. If we come out a little bit. Now there was a second lioness. There were actually two lionesses a little bit to the left involved in that, there we go, in the giraffe hunt. So she wasn't by herself. There were two of them. But unfortunately the giraffe didn't run towards the second lioness. Now, while that excitement's over, let's go to Jamie for some just before dark cuteness.
Our last few moments with the lion cubs before we have to leave them as it gets dark. And they are having an absolutely marvellous time. Chasing each other around the dam wall and just really, truly enjoying themselves. Oh, go back to the right, Dave. That little one's going to stalk. Little one on the right there. Yeah, we're into stalk mode. The other mother... Oh, okay. Sorry, Dave. So much for that. The other mother's on her way back to the cubs, I think. Oh, no, there we go. There we go. Belly crawl. And... sneaking up. There we go, it's going, launching the attack. Oh, but they've run so much further ahead. Catch, Mom. Take her down. Those instincts that will continue for the rest of their lives and make them the predators that their mom and their aunts are. Oh, grab her. Grab her. Mom just sort of walks along with a rather harried look upon her face. And this morning I described this situation as taking 3 toddlers grocery shopping. Lioness is desperate to hunt, and they've got 3 little bundles of trouble who are desperate to help, but unfortunately... Oh, we're going to stalk the other females. Yes, how brave are you feeling? Just listen to the sounds. They are making sounds. How amazing. Oh, you big fierce predator. I haven't been saying very much, just because I think that the sound effects that you are getting your family's beautiful, girl. Grabbing each other, a bundle of cubs, now tucking in to their evening meal, having had made some serious noise about wanting to suckle. Oh, Mom's had it. She's had enough. Oh. I don't really want you to miss a moment of these sounds. I'm just staying quiet. Don't worry, little one. One day that will be a big, fierce roar. She's talking to them. Oh! Such a lot of noise from such a little creature. Practicing their adult roars. Pretending they're big and scary like Mom. Getting brave. And out here, it is wonderful to have siblings to keep you entertained. Oh, found more elephant dung. We know how they love elephant dung. The first time we ever saw these cubs, they walked around with a pile of elephant dung in their mouths. Oh, I found the best possible pillow, and it is a pile of buffalo dung. Big yawn. And those bonds, especially between females, will last for the rest of their lives. The bush is full of entertainment value, if you know where to look. Yum! A little bit of elephant dung. Can you believe you're watching this live in the African bush? I can barely believe I'm seeing it. They're going to be some exhausted little cubs. I hear you are all taking some incredible screen grabs. Thank you so much. We do enjoy them. As you can tell, I know it's getting so dark that I'm sure the pictures are getting a little bit grainy, but I don't want to leave. I really don't. I don't want to leave until we absolutely have to. I can hear the Nyala alarm calling off in the distance at the other female. She's gone back to feed her cubs. Here's Mom, watchful, keeping her watchful gaze on the surroundings. And I'm the king of the castle. Everything the light touches is my kingdom. Sort of. I wish I could actually take a picture of Brent and Gert. Isn't that a stunning scene? And Louise, sitting on the back. An extraordinary family scene. And have a look at things from Brent's perspective. I think the two of us just feeling thoroughly spoiled at these moments that we get to share with some very special animals. Oh, found a comfy spot there. Aren't we lucky, everybody, that we get to share in these moments? They just look so incredibly tiny still. We're even climbing over Mom. It's a little bit of a mountain to be surmounted. begging her to roll over and feed them. Now, it's not just us enjoying the sighting. Let's go across to Brent and find out how he feels about this extraordinary moment we're witnessing.
Isn't this just the most adorable thing? Now I'm going to ask her to pull out and look at this. So we're going to go up, just I want bottom of the frame here, if possible, please, where my hand is. And then up and out so we can see the moon, the lions, and Jamie. Look at that. Isn't that spectacular? So there we go. The moon, nearly full moon tomorrow. And the lions and Jamie. So we're going to leave Jamie here. Now, her camera has got much better nighttime capabilities than ours. So she doesn't have to turn on any lights. So I'm going to leave her with the lions and I'm going to go scuttle about and see what other creatures we can find here on Djuma. But wow, what an evening it's been so far. And the lions on the move, it looks like. So let's go back to Jamie, who can follow them with that camera.
going to keep here as long as possible before it does start to get too dark. Run, little one. You've been left behind. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, like little children, they seem to have a sort of inexhaustible supply of energy. And we have something that has changed the entire situation, and that is a herd of elephants coming around behind us, showing every sign of being restless, and they want to come and drink, but they have decided to move off again. They're moving back into the bush where they came from, obviously not comfortable enough around these lions. We've seen lions and elephants before. Very often the elephants chase them away. Come guys, before we lose this opportunity, I know our eddies are there, but the cubs are going to go onto the dam wall itself, and they're beautifully illuminated by the dam cam light itself. Whoopsie daisy, had a bit of a dam wall collapse there underneath one of the cubs. Careful guys. Our beautiful, resilient Kahuma pride. And their 3 relatively brand new additions. The young lioness in particular, I've noticed, is quite fascinated by the cubs. She's probably too young to even remember any other cubs in the pride, so this for her is a first. And it will be good practice for her very first litter of cubs that I think she'll have in the next few months. Little cubs clambering over the dam wall. Even now, trying to catch Mom by the ankles. And each and every cub treated with incredible gentleness from an animal, a lion that is capable of taking down a buffalo, and yet with their enormous heads and huge paws and sharp claws, they are so totally gentle with the little cubs. And just like that, guys, I think our sighting is reaching its end. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to stretch things. Do you think we can go a little bit longer, Dave, or are we sort of out of light? Try a little bit longer. If they start moving into the drainage line, then we will leave them at peace to move off towards the lodge. Oh, hold on. Elephants. Now, as our elephants slowly move across to the dam, you won't be able to see them from where you are. I just want to make sure I've got an escape route in case things... I do actually, except it's straight into another elephant. I did have an escape route, it's straight into another elephant. Off in the darkness. Our Tim Silver, while we look at our little lions hidden away on the other side of the dam wall. Oh, it's very dark, isn't it? Actually, the cubs are watching the elephant approach. We're going to pull out. Okay, we're going to pull out of this sighting now. We're going to leave them to respond to the elephants themselves. The elephants haven't realized that they're on the other side of the dam wall. We don't need to add an extra level of obstruction here in the dark when I can't see what's happening, so we'll leave them. And what a marvelous afternoon. As we pull out of the sighting and leave our two iconic animals of Africa together, our elephants and our lions, let's go across to Brent and find out what he's doing.
Well, what I've been up to is trying to get my spotlight out of the knot. There we go. Oh. Sorry. There we go. Sorry, impalalas. I'm out on the quarantine clearings hoping for a white-tailed mongoose is what I'm hoping for. And then I'm going to go to one of my little bush baby hot spots and see if there's a bush baby there. Ah, there we go. That's better. Now I've got some free reign with my spotlight. Oh, what an incredible day it's been. 11 cats in total seen between the sunrise and sunset safaris. 2 different leopards. No, is it 11? Is it 11? We've seen 5 Nkuhumas, 3 cubs, 1 Birmingham, Vula, and Sindile. Am I missing one? Ah, and a Birmingham. 11. Incredible day. We have been spoilt with the cats over the last while, and let us hope it continues. And those ellies right at the end there, I saw them as I was leaving. So it doesn't look like any white-tailed mongooses just yet on quarantine. They might be still at their burrow, getting ready for an evening of foraging. I was convinced there was one in front of my house last night, as the little lapwings were going bananas, but not the alarm call that they give to something like a lion or a leopard as they walk across the clearing, but it's incessant. Give it. So it's probably a genet, or I think a white-tailed mongoose, just based on the area. Genets don't really like to come out of the thickets too much. Oh, sorry, Andrew's just calling me on the radio. Standing by. Sorry, Andrew's wondering about that. Andrew, I think it's the 5th Nkuhuma, but you can still see there's suckle marks. I'm not sure whether she's lost her mampimpans or her hormones have confused the wanuna. Okay, and one of my favorite little bush baby spots, I think it's about to produce. And there's an impala there as well, but I saw the very distinct eye of a bush baby. There we go, in his tree, coming to eat his gum in the exact same tree as last night. My bush baby hotspots are really working. Can you get him through there? Bit forward. Actually. Now this is the really relaxed bush baby. And we can sit a couple of feet from him. There we go, actually I think that's better there. I've got a window through to his little gum spot. Oh, but hang on. Hang on. Okay, beautiful bush baby. Impala alarm calling. Could there be, or was it a 12th cat on this evening's sunset safari? Where are you snorting, Impala? Or did you just smell a lion? I think he smelled a lion poo. Aww. He just snorted a couple of times, and that's where the Nkuhumas were this morning. I think he smelled a lion, a bit of lion feces, and that prompted him. Now hopefully our little friend is still in the exact same spot. He is. So as I said, they maintain gum farms, and it looks like he's got his just behind him. Let me just drop that a bit. There we go. You can see that little patch above his head, and he chews on that almost every night to keep the gum coming out. It still looks like he's waking up. this guy's so relaxed. I'm just trying to figure a way. I think I've got a way to get a little closer. So I'm going to move the vehicle quickly so we can get an even closer view of him. And we don't have the power zoom camera today, but with a bit of creative driving we can make it like a super zoom. Okay, we're nearly there. Oh, he's chewing on his gum spot. Let's go forward. You got him there. He's a bit up. Oh, he's just above. Okay, we're going to have to move around. He's chewing on his little gum spot. And he's not just perched in the middle there. Let's see if we get a view from this side. There he is. So, there you go. Hello, little one. Now, quite often bush babies will have very distinct paths that they use to their different feeding points, and their feeding points are far more regular during the winter, as there's not a lot of insects around, which is one of their favorite things to eat. So, I think there's about 4 acacias I know on this particular bush baby family's route, and normally if you hit them at the right time of day, which is about now, you're going to get them at one of these spots. We've been lucky enough to get them at the same spot twice in the last 2 nights. Okay, well, we're going to sit here and watch our little primate friend. Let's go see what Jamie's got.
While Brent watches his little primate, we've just got an extraordinary view to show you for our last few moments of the sunset safari. And what a spectacular sunset it is. Complete with, if you're keen-eyed, Venus on the horizon. The end of a well and truly spectacular day. And it is time for Dave and myself to say a fond farewell to all of you. It's been absolutely wonderful having you around. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Dave for his wonderful camera work, as always, as well as to the lovely ladies, Rebecca and I think it's Chelsea in final control. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. I don't want to keep you away from Brent's Bush Baby for too long. I will catch up with you tomorrow on the Sunrise Safari. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Our friendly little primate hasn't moved an inch. So from Gert, myself, and of course some of you very, very, very perceptive people out there noticed we had an extra shadow. And the extra shadow is Louise from Final Control, who came on drive with us today. And it has been a seriously cat-filled day, and hopefully tomorrow will be the same. Very exciting stuff happening with Mvula and Sindile, or Cinderella. See, I've called them so many different nicknames. And of course, having those cubs around, hopefully the Nkahumas will be successful, or maybe hopefully they'll be successful in the morning when we're following them in their hunting. And I definitely am going to keep hunting tonight. Probably move for another 20 minutes or 30 minutes, rest for a while, and then move again. So it'll be fun to get on their tracks first thing tomorrow morning, and also obviously to check what's happening with those leopards. So much to see, so much to do. But talking about having a look at stuff, I'm going to keep yabbing, but I'm sure you'd much rather look at the cuteness that is the South African Galego. Of course, we will be looking for all sorts of creatures, not only lions and leopards, elephants and zebras, giraffes and kudu, all the wonderful creatures, large and small. Now you can see how big his ear is there, all to listen for insects. Now Tasha would like to know, is this little bush baby fully grown? It is indeed, Tasha. That is an adult. Oh, there's another one coming. Just into that tree there. Oh, there's 3 coming. Oh, could we have a bush baby war? Oh, there they are. Now there's jumping all around. Let me move back. This is definitely the same. Oh no. It looks like they're taking turns on the feeding. So one's left, the next one's come. And it'll be from the same family group normally. You got them through there. Let me just go. Oh, we've got 20 seconds. Let's see what we can see. Creative driving. No. The bush babies are leaping about. So hopefully we'll have a better chance tomorrow's sunset safari. See you soon. In a few hours in the morning. Bye.